It's the Sports Take Lunch Break, brought to you by Office Essentials, your hometown supplier of all the office products and furniture you need to grow your business. Okay, we're going to go over to our next segment. It's our food for thought, so it's something we've been thinking about all week we haven't been able to let go of. We're just going to go around the room. We will get over to Stu, who has his food for thought. What you got, Stu?
I think a real quick plug, missed this in the Battlehawks talk. The Rogue Squadron, who's the supporters group for Battlehawks, are doing their watch parties at the 612 Kitchen in Kirkwood. So if you want to join them at 4 p.m. on Sunday, that's where they'll be.
It's going to be rowdy down there.
There might be people there.
Is that your food for thought for the week?
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to plug Rogue Squadron real quick.
Dan, do you have a food for thought? I know you're sitting over here on the producer's mic chomping at the bit.
Chomping at the bit. But no, I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to plug Mid-States hockey. I just love watching Mid-States hockey. And tonight there's a huge game, Vianney versus Francis Howell over at Webster at 8:50. Determines who the last player entering the playoffs is. And it's funny. Slew's been, well, they're not quite knocked out, but they could get knocked out today. A big one, Chaminade was knocked out, but you still got CBC. Priory slipped in there. DeSmet, Summit. So we got some good hockey left to come for this next month. $5 per person, and they all have good concession stands.
Good stuff, Dan. Definitely get out there and support local hockey. Always a good thing.
Vianney. Go Gruner boys.
Okay, I am going to dedicate my food for thought to an athlete that has dominated the last couple of weeks. That's Kobe Bryant. We didn't have an episode last week to get into it, and it's probably a good thing because I wasn't really in the mood to talk about it, but I think I've had the time to compose myself, so bear with me for a minute. I have a couple of bullet points. It might get a little long, but I'll try to keep it short. So I've been a basketball fan about as long as I can remember. I've probably loved the sport longer than any other in terms of, at a young age, I just gravitated towards it. I think Kobe was one of the most entertaining and also complex sports stars we've ever had in our lifetime. He was always my second favorite basketball player behind Michael Jordan, who was the person who got me into the sport. And really, at the age of 34, there are only two other athletes to me that come to mind who I remember seeing start and end their career essentially, who were as big as Kobe. It was Kobe, it was Roger Federer, and it was Tiger Woods. And those are the three to me that come to mind that sort of transcended sports at a different level. But Kobe was the one that I gravitated to the most. He is the reason I became and still am a huge Lakers fan. To me, he was the only player I'd ever seen in basketball who was willing to go after Jordan's greatness head on. Everyone else ran from the Jordan comparisons. Nobody wanted to get into that because they knew they couldn't win. And Kobe actually had the audacity at 17 or 18 years old to want to be Michael Jordan. And I thought that appealed to me because very few people wanted to go at something that lofty, but he knew from such a young age that he wanted to. Legendary work ethic, drive to be the best. I remember probably the story that sums up his work ethic was, it was the end of his career and he ruptures his Achilles, which if you happen to watch the finals last year and you saw Durant do the same thing, he couldn't even walk. I mean, the rupturing your Achilles is about as painful as any injury can get. Kobe doesn't even really wince and gets up, goes and takes 2 free throws because he knows if he doesn't take those free throws, he can't come in the game. So in his mind, he still thinks he's going to be able to take those free throws, go to the back, get somehow medical clearance to play again. So he nails both free throws and walks off with a ruptured Achilles. It's unreal. So he had the work ethic that I'd rarely seen. He was also one of the few athletes that was so supremely gifted, yet didn't rest on his laurels and worked just as hard as if – I heard someone say that he was the best player on his team, but he always worked like he was the 12th man on the bench. And that really resonated with me. He was sort of like a real-life superhero on the court, and he always played like he was invincible. So to hear that something happened to this person who felt so invincible was really surprising to me. But his story also can't fully be told without discussing the 2003 rape allegations. The charges were ultimately dropped, and he settled in a civil suit out of court, but it always left some mixed emotions with me. He sort of distanced himself from discussing it over the last 17 years of his life. And I was always left wondering, what if he had used his massive platform to speak about how it changed him as a man, as a father, as a husband? We'll sadly never get to see if he would go on to do that. And we would also never get to see if the post-playing Kobe would have eclipsed the player that we saw, because we knew how important he became as a father in his later life. He certainly put his family first towards the end of his life, while he had to take so much putting himself first and putting them behind during his playing career. So it was cool to see him transitioning in that way. Ultimately, though, the lasting feeling I have is one of sadness for his wife, his 3 daughters who are still alive, all the other families. There were many other families that are feeling the effects of the people that passed away. And it kind of helped me put my life and the value of it in new perspective. It's a reminder that time isn't long and we can all go in the blink of an eye. So don't take for granted your friends, your family, the people that you see every day. Don't waste time on petty arguments and little silly things. Just reach out to people who are close to you. Let them know how valuable they are to you, because things can change really quickly. So that's my thoughts on Kobe Bryant in that situation. We're back with our break room battle for the week. So the question that we will have up on our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and our Office Essentials break room this week is: are you interested in the St. Louis Battlehawks and the XFL in general? Yes or no? Around the room really quickly. Stu, yes or no? Greg?
No.
Dan?
No way.
I'm going to say yes for week 1. Okay, that'll do it for this week's episode. Be sure to tell your friends if you like what you heard. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode, and we'll catch you again next week.